Welcome back. We got several counties that are under a tornado watch and several more under a severe thunderstorm watch with a strong line of storms headed to our area.
Yeah, take a look now from our brand new Gastonia camera. Things looking a little bit dark, showing some clouds off in the distance. Our Pinpoint weather team is tracking every angle of these storms and the potential impacts on the region.
Meteorologist Elisa Raffa standing by, but let's go ahead and start with Chief Meteorologist Tara Lane. Tara, where are these warnings right now?
Mountains and foothills. So we have several new now severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. That does include the Hickory area now and parts of Burke and Caldwell County. That continues in Taylorsville, Alexander County. You all are now under a severe thunderstorm warning. Why? That's because of the possibility here of getting some strong damaging wind gusts. We're talking about potentially 70+ mile-an-hour wind gusts that could come out of these storms here today and some sizable hail. We're looking live right now with Hickory there down below, and you can see just the dark clouds and some rain in the distance. And this is a rainy picture too up in the mountains at Boone. It's kind of frozen up right now, but you can see the wet conditions down below. Nothing too intense for you folks in Watauga County right now in terms of the severe weather, but we do have some moderate to heavy rain and still some thunder and lightning out there. But the strongest part of this line right now is focused to the south of you all in the Boone area. So we are talking about, again, parts of Avery County, but now look at all this lightning. It's practically covering the map. So I'll take that off for the next weather hit so you can actually see some of these cities and towns. But basically, you know, if you live in Morganton, up in Lenore right now, you are getting hit hard by the torrential rain and almost continuous lightning. And this is headed right into the Hickory and Taylorsville area. So that severe thunderstorm warning going until about 4:45 later on this evening. We put the track on it here. It's going to be getting into Hickory really right now. It's obviously knocking on your door. Newton at about 4:25 as the line pushes pretty quickly to the east. And so that's one good thing. It's moving quickly through the area. It's not sitting there for a long period of time and dumping all this heavy weather here. But Lincolnton around 4:30, Statesville. So now we're talking about Iredell County. This line of storms moving toward you all there around 4:45 and eventually heading toward 5 o'clock, the top of the 5 o'clock hour. It's going to be closing in on the Mooresville areas. This line all ahead of a strong cold front today. Obviously, there's plenty of heat and humidity, all those ingredients there to help fuel these storms here today. Damaging wind gusts is by far the main threat, but as I said, some even larger sized hail can't be ruled out, and even a brief tornado or two. So we do have that tornado watch in effect for areas north of Charlotte where you do see the yellow. That includes you all in the mountains and foothills getting the heavy weather right now. Somewhat higher risk of that spin and possibly that brief tornado in these areas. Meantime, severe thunderstorm watch continues from Charlotte south down through the upstate with that damaging wind gust threat and hail threat as well. Now, we do have that team coverage. Let's head on over to meteorologist Elisa Raffa right now. Elisa, plenty of heat today. All the ingredients are there to get these storms going.
I mean, you step outside and it's so thick, you're walking right into it, and that is the fuel for these thunderstorms that are just exploding out there. 90 right now in Charlotte, 95 down in Cheraw and Rockingham. I mean, and look at these dew points. 74 for a dew point is disgusting. It's very thick, very humid. When you're in the low and middle 70s, we're way at the top of the muggy meter. So not only does it feel terrible out there, that is the fuel for these storms. Heat index values, where we have this heat advisory today, has reached 105 in areas like Cheraw and Lancaster. And all of this is the fuel for these strong and severe thunderstorms. You could see some of these deep oranges and reds showing that the atmosphere is what we call buoyant. All of that air is rising very quickly. That's letting those thunderstorms be very tall and destructive. And you can see we've got all of this fuel across the Carolinas here from the heat and humidity. Another thing that we have, Tara is mentioning that higher tornado threat to the north and west. That's because we have twisting winds upstairs in the atmosphere, and you got that twist just a little bit more just to the north and west of Charlotte up in the high country, and that's why you have that greater tornado threat there, and it's something that we're watching very closely. So with this risk of damaging winds up to 75 miles per hour or greater, we do have a pretty high risk for power outages, so make sure you plug in your phone if the battery is getting low, just in case. Trees, power lines could be some issues. The front is fast. Okay, so it's going to roll through, getting to the Charlotte area probably around 6 or so, and then look, it's already off to the east by about 8 or 9. We are severe clear overnight, which is good news. We won't have to worry about it while we're sleeping, and we've got more sunshine coming in the way tomorrow. Taking a look again at a closer view of that timing here, again in the mountains and foothills right now, getting a little bit closer to Charlotte within the next hour or two. By about 6 o'clock, we could be looking at some of those strong storms in the Queen City, and then they're to the south and east, working their way out of here by 8 or 9 o'clock, exiting just some clouds overnight, and we're keeping things dry going into tomorrow. So some of the things again that we're continuing to track here, that timing is now through about 9 o'clock. The storms will pack wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour or greater, with some embedded tornadoes possible in that line. So damaging winds, a few tornadoes are the biggest things that we're worried about. That highest tornado threat again sits just to the north and west of Charlotte, but we are severe clear overnight, so you do not have to worry about it while you're sleeping, which is really great news, Tara.
Good news there. So while most of us are still awake here, we're just going to be staying weather aware and have that free Pinpoint weather app handy too. If you have to step away from us here watching us on the news, and a little bit later on, you can pull up that radar and any alerts anytime, and it will show you what's going on in real time. All right, but we have a look at tomorrow. So what's coming in behind that front? Yes, a nice little break in the humidity. It's still going to be quite hot with highs up around 90. We'll see a nice mixture of sun and clouds, but you can see on the muggy meter how we get a bit of a dip here in that muggy level for the next couple of days, and then rising levels of humidity expected again for late week and heading into the weekend, and that will mark a return of those typical summertime afternoon and evening storm chances too. All right, so we take it out into the night. After the storms end, temperatures will be allowed to fall into the 60s, still hanging on to those warmer and more muggy lower 70s for a bit longer to the south and east of Charlotte. And then we check out that 7-day forecast. We're still again hot, but with that lower humidity the next couple of days. 87 on Thursday as those storm chances return. You're watching Carolina's own Queen City News, the most local news in the Carolinas, as we keep you updated here on this Pinpoint Weather Alert Day.